Peace to the collective. Um, I just want to commend Phoenix Moon and Aboriginal Mac because y'all touched on some key points last night. And I really appreciate that. Because I can't be out here doing this alone. And the one thing that I love that Phoenix Moon said is that you got to do business with your grandmother. And she's absolutely right. Okay? Ever since that I can remember, I'm 46 now. And ever since I can remember, back when I was younger, I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, maybe younger than that, I remember the stories that my grandmother told me, and my mother told me, and my great grandmother told me of, of my history of being Indigenous American Indian. Just to give you a brief history, I knew about my great grandfather, living on a reservation in Kentucky, and that there was this pale-faced sheriff that used to mess with him all the time. And he got fed up and he slit his throat. And he had to flee Kentucky. And he had one of our capitals, Indian capitals, because we had our own governments, we had our own politics. I don't want to get so drawn out on it, but he had to flee Kentucky because he had killed the sheriff there. And they said that if he ever came back, that they would lynch him. Well, in my mind is that why was it that they couldn't go to St. Louis where he had fled, because our capital was in St. Louis. One of our indigenous American Indian capitals was in St. Louis. And they said, well, if you ever come back, we'll lynch you. You know what I mean? Why couldn't you go to St. Louis to apprehend him so that could be done? Obviously, it was some protection there, and my great grandfather, he knew 6 different languages. I can go on and on, but I got to go to work in a little while. But I just want to thank Phoenix Moon for addressing that and putting that out there, because I've known about my Indian history forever, okay? And I'm 46 years old now, and back when I was growing up, it was hard, trying to convince my people that they were Indigenous American Indian, and I remember when I was younger, I was about 6 or 7, and my sister's father, his mother was Indigenous American Indian. And I remember my mom and me and my brother, we had went to go visit, my sister's father and his family in Delaware, because I'm originally from Philly. And when I went there, we were playing with the kids out in the front yard around in the neighborhood where my sister's father's people lived. And these kids that came over, and they were like, somehow they got on the subject of saying, well, I'm African American, and I said, you're not African American. I said, you Indian, you know what I mean? She said, I ain't no Indian booty scratcher. They were trying to make me feel bad, me and my brother. So I had went in the house upset to my sister's father's mother, and I went in there and I said, Grandma, are we African American? And she said, no, baby. She said, I'm Indian, and I said, because the little children was like, had me almost convinced that I was African American. So, I had said to Grandma, I said, well, Grandma, am I Indian too? She said, yeah, baby, you're Indian, and never forget that. So I'm really happy, You know, I'm excited that the young spirits are coming forward and speaking the truth, because it was hard for me back in the day, man, trying to get people to understand this, you know? And it's a great day and time that we living in today, you know? And it's a great blessing that y'all know this truth, you know? And for Aboriginal Mac, brother, you touched on it good, brother, okay? And you said, is there anybody out there that works and knows about, I might not be wording it exactly how you said it, but I appreciate it, because you said, just start with payroll. And yes, there's special provisions for Indians, and I have done it. And I'm still doing it to this day since 2007, bro. And I appreciate you bringing that forward, you know? And yes, you know, I want to touch more on that. There's special provisions in the IRS for Indians that they're not going to tell you these things. But if you don't ask questions, how the hell are you going to know? You know? And I have done it. And I have not paid state or federal taxes since 2007, when I got registered as Indigenous American Indian. That is the truth, Aboriginal Mac and Phoenix Moon. It is the truth. And y'all touched on those key points to allow me to do this video, to thank you for bringing that forward, you know? Because when I was bringing it forward, niggas was like, oh, niggas always talking about they got Indian in their family, you know? To the point where I'll be fighting out there, you know what I mean? Alone, you know? And so I humbly thank you for bringing that forward, you know? And yes, these niggas got to start going to their grandmothers, okay? The information is there. The librarian is a librarian in each person's family that holds the history that has been passed down from generation to generation, okay? So yes, what you're saying is the absolute truth. And I humbly appreciate you young spirits for getting out here and let's start this fight, okay? You know, yeah, we the true Captain Americas, okay? We the true Captain Americas. This is our God-given land. You hear me? And if you're seeing this video, yes, what y'all saying is beautiful. It is the truth. It is the truth. How long I've been telling these people this? And I was fighting this battle alone, okay? So yes, I hope that we will be able to build very soon, okay? But peace and blessings to the collective. I just wanted to share that before I go to work. Yes, I don't pay federal or state. Yes, they do have a copy of my registration at the IRS, because we do have special provisions for Indians in the IRS. You send it, call them up, or send it to, I think it's in Utah. The IRS is in Utah. Yeah, they got a copy of my registration. Along with my putting exempt. You don't touch nothing. You don't put nothing else in the box but exempt in your name. And you put down there Indigenous American Indian. Okay? So yes, I don't. Yeah, you start with payroll. But thank you so much, Aboriginal Mac and Phoenix Moon. I loved that video y'all did last night. I loved it. And I was watching it this morning. Okay? So I'm proud of y'all. Keep up the good work. Okay? I'm a 46-year-old man. I'm getting old. Okay? And I need help. Shoot. I can't be doing this alone. We have to come together as a collective to get this done. Okay? So peace and blessings to the collective. I will get back with y'all real soon. Peace and blessings.